Ashley Derringer here with TruckTractorTrailer.com. Thanks for tuning into our podcast that seeks to educate our community with experts providing real-life insights to help you run your business, navigate your professional journey, or simply spark a new idea. For those that don't know me, I am the Chief Business Officer at TruckTractorTrailer.com. I lead TTT strategic growth and revenue expansion across our entire digital platform and service portfolio. Today, I am joined by my dear friends and colleagues, Alan Anastasio, who is head of sales, and Heather Boma, our general manager in all things daily support and operations. Hey, guys.
Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley.
How you doing? Well, let's get rolling here. So crazy. I can't believe, we're kicking off 2026. I can't believe we're already in the second week of the month. Time is flying by. Let's get going here. Alan, first question to you. From a sales standpoint, what feels different about how we're starting this year compared to the last few?
Yeah, no, great question, Ashley. And, Happy New Year to everyone. And I think we're excited to be out of that 2025. Last year, no matter how it went, it actually did start off well. But we did hit a barrier with the tariffs that slowed us down dramatically. But the last couple of years have been up and down with our economy. From COVID and the administration changes, we saw a tumultuous economy, but we survived in advance. I will say towards the end of 2025, we did see fleets open up more of their equipment buying. And the good thing is we're starting to see stabilized rates and pricing. Which is always positive. That right there is a key indicator of movement in the right direction. Fleets are also now taking advantage of that new tax credit. So all good signs of the industry bouncing back. A soft bounce, but good, albeit.
Awesome. Great. And Heather, operationally and from a supportive perspective, what gives you the confidence as we start the new year?
Honestly, what gives me confidence is how solid our support system is right now. We've got a really aligned team, clear processes, and a centralized setup that lets us see what's happening across the trucking and transportation side in real time. Our concierge contact center can jump between white glove help and quick self-service. So we're meeting people where they are. Starting the year with that level of clarity and coordination makes me feel really good about where we're headed.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is alignment here. Our sales, operations, and strategy are moving in the same direction, which is great. And that also allows us to be proactive instead of reactive this year. And I think that foundation really matters as we look to the broader market. Alan, zooming out to the industry as a whole, what are you seeing right now in the used truck and trailer market and the trucking industry as a whole?
Yeah, no, another great question, Ashley. I think right now there is a good amount of equipment inventory out there right now, there's two sides to that always. One, we all know fleets really haven't been buying new trucks and trailers in the past year, especially with the rise in cost for new with all the tariffs. We'll continue to, kind of throw that in there. So fleets have been keeping their trucks a little bit longer due to the economy. And for that, what that means is, these 2023, 2022 units, instead of coming off the road at 350,000 miles, now we're seeing them come off the road with close to 650,000. It's not uncommon where you'll see fleets run their units up to 1 million miles just to really get, one, the longevity of it, and two is because of the rising, cost and unstabilized market. So fleets have really been spending more to maintain those units because, just in terms of how the economy was, it was just a better and cheaper option, more, maximizing, them maintaining those units as opposed to, selling them off and trying to buy new. So there are a lot of, equipment that's going to come off the road, but we're also going to see a lot of high mileage equipment that's be coming off the road. And the same thing with trailers. The one thing that we're seeing in the trailer market is, you'll see a lot of buyers now buying used or close to new, as opposed to spending the money on a brand new equipment, and they'll start to refurbish them. They'll start to maintain them a little bit more. So the good thing is the used market, I see a definitely another bump and increase in terms of the demand, and as well as the inventory that we'll have to work through.
Wonderful. Would you say that pricing has stabilized, and how has that changed the buyer behavior that you've noticed?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, consumer buying behavior really always adjusts with the economy. If things are unstable, then people are reluctant to make purchases, especially when it's a larger purchase like a truck, that ranges anywhere from 50,000 up to 90,000, and trailers that can range from 10,000 but up to 27,000, right? So then you add volume, right? You're really just crunching numbers to see if growth is possible, right? So without that stabilized pricing, you can't really properly forecast any return on investment. So people were more adept and confident, and people will be more adept and confident in making buying decisions now that the pricing has been stabilized a little bit more. So that's my thoughts.
Good. Heather, what's your take on it?
Big picture, the used truck and trailer market is really active right now. Inventory has finally opened up, pricing's leveling out, and buyers finally have options again. On the trucking side overall, things feel healthier. Freight demand is steady. Fleets are refreshing their equipment, and also financing has improved. So overall, more inventory, more activity, and a market that's settling into a much more normal rhythm.
Wow, that's really great to hear. From the leadership side too, that stability really creates space for better decision making. And being able to approach the market with intention instead of urgency. So, how lovely is that going to be? I want to kind of shift and talk about what stability really means for our buyers and sellers. Alan, how are buyers approaching decisions differently now compared to a year ago or 2 years ago?
Sure. Another good question. As mentioned, buyers are really a bit more cautious right now. I think especially until we start seeing the freight market, and as well as the freight rates and pricing are stabilizing for another 2 to 3 quarters, we're going to see more buyers just be, they're not going to step full metal to the pedal, right? They're going to be more half, half that. But 2 to 3 years ago, it was a different story, right? It was a lot more supply and demand. There was a lot more demand for, freight. The rates were good. It was a good time. So people were buying equipment, even if it was expensive, right? But come 2 years now, right? That equipment that they bought, for double the price a couple years ago, they're trying to make sure that they're not spending the same type of money, right, on that equipment, especially with the economy not being as strong, right? So you can see where it's kind of a dichotomy for them, where they're, they will spend money on equipment if everything is great and everything is going well. But if not, they don't want to, be stuck with equipment that they bought overpriced again, right? So I think that's some of the things that we have to navigate through, and kind of also understand, where they're coming from as well. So I think for us, there's going to have to be a lot of education and value into why these purchases are going to be positive for them this year.
That's good. And from the seller view, what separates the equipment that moves quickly from equipment that struggles to sell? Can you give us a little insight there?
Yeah, for sure. I think right now, as we mentioned, we are seeing a lot of higher mileage equipment coming off. So in terms of demand, the demand is going to be for later model, low mileage equipment. So everyone is looking to make that type of purchase as opposed to a new purchase. I mean, you're taking a look at a brand new sleeper truck, 2020, 7, right? they are paying anywhere and upwards of over $200,000, right? And maybe in the high 100s for a day cab. So it's a steep price. So you'll see a lot of fleets really trying to opt in to find a 2023 unit, 2024 unit, that might have under 300,000 miles or 200,000 miles, right? So that way they'll be able to justify that return on investment. And you're going to see a lot of that and a lot of people fighting, for, that low mileage equipment, especially, once again, as opposed to, to buying new. Now, I think the one thing is the higher mileage equipment is gonna be desirable. So I don't think we'll have a hard time really pushing that. I think one of the benefits of us being able to sell some of this high mileage equipment is our platform is able to provide warranty, right? With those units, right?
Yeah.
So really extend the life of that used truck value. So I think there's going to be some positives and negatives.
Great. And you're bringing our platform in, so that, that brings us kind of to the execution part of that. Because even in a stable market, all these details matter. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Heather. Again, from an operation and support standpoint, what do sellers need to do right now to be successful?
What we're seeing is the sellers who are winning right now are the ones who stay engaged and move quickly. There's inventory everywhere, so responsiveness matters. The more they communicate with us, keep their listings updated, and follow the guidance we give them, the faster we can help them convert. So when sellers kind of lead into the process and have good photos, accurate details, and then they follow up quickly, we can support them at a much higher level and get their equipment in front of the right buyers faster.
Great. And how does preparation and organization impact the buyer here, their confidence with us?
Preparation and organization make a huge difference in buyer confidence. So when a listing is clean, accurate, and complete with good photos, clear specs, maintenance records, buyers are ready to go immediately when they see a listing like that. They feel like they're dealing with somebody serious and trustworthy. In a market with so much inventory, buyers move toward the sellers who look buttoned up. The more organized the seller is, the faster buyers lean in and the quicker the deals move.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like success really comes from that clarity and transparency on our side, and that accountability that we provide them through that entire process. All right, let's talk about listing inventory on the website and the strategy there, since we're on this topic. Heather, why is listing inventory on our website especially important in today's environment?
Well, listing on the website matters because that's where the buyers are. With so much equipment on the market right now, visibility is everything. If it's not online, it's not getting seen. And when it is online with solid photos and details, buyers trust it and the deals move quicker.
So what makes an inventory listing effective right now?
An effective listing is one that gives buyers everything they need up front. Good photos, accurate specs, maintenance history, and clear pricing all build confidence immediately. With so much inventory on the market, buyers will just skip anything that feels incomplete or uncertain. And the listings that are more detailed, organized, and transparent rise to the top and move the fastest.
All right. And how does that strong inventory presentation support both sales and the customer experience?
It boosts sales because it builds instant buyer trust. When listings are clean, complete, and easy to evaluate, buyers engage faster, and that makes the entire sales process smoother for all involved.
Awesome. So inventory visibility builds trust before even the first conversation even happens with Alan and his guys, his team there. So in today's market, this digital presence is a must when it comes to the buyer decision. I'm gathering here. So let's kind of switch over. I wanted to speak a little bit now, guys, about our digital presence. And since we're speaking on that, I think this is also where TTT Power practice comes in. That is our marketing, sales, and consulting services that we offer. And it really connects to everything we have been talking about today. So visibility is the theme. I've been stuck on this heading into the new year so much. I think I've written multiple posts about it on LinkedIn. the platforms like ours helps our buyers and sellers stay seen throughout our marketplace, and that is definitely the foundation at trucktractortrailer.com. But I think same goes for all other brands and companies in the industry. If your brand isn't visible and your reach isn't growing, it is invisible. And in transportation, invisibility loses the deals or the business long before they even know anyone was looking. And I think this is really where TTT Power comes into play. Our goal here is to help our customers and our clients alike think strategically about how they show up in the market, how they position themselves or their inventory, right? And how they can build sustainable momentum. And that's by bringing this digital presence by us for you guys out there listening through our content strategy and sales alignment. I'm really excited for this, guys. I think 2026 is going to be a great year. And there we have it, folks. We're entering this year with confidence built on stability, alignment, and experience. And if you are thinking about buying, selling, or simply positioning your inventory more effectively, we invite you to explore what's available on our website or reach out for a conversation today. And if you want to learn more about TTT Power, our marketing, sales, and consulting services, you can find us at trucktractortrailer.com leadership page. Quickly, before we go, guys, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
For me, I'd say LinkedIn is a great way to reach me. I'm on there every day. So connect with me and send me a message.
Awesome. Yep. Same here. LinkedIn is good. If you have any other questions, you could always go to support at trucktractortrailer.com. We'll be able to filter your request that way. But once again, we're all pretty open to connect with.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in all, and we look forward to a strong year ahead together. Cheers.
Cheers.